Very good. All right, Mark, what's your immediate reaction to that result? Obviously, disappointing end score for you.
Yeah, the end score's disappointing. Absolutely, we, with the recruitment we've done over the last 2-3 weeks, it was a really exciting time for us going into the second round, and even now, I know the result is devastating. Mind you, you're playing with 10 men. But we still believe that we can actually really knock off some of those teams out there, because really while we had our full squad out in the park before we got dropped down to 10, we were really competitive. We had some really great opportunities to go ahead, especially in the first 15-20 minutes. A couple of opportunities missed, which again could have changed the game dramatically. I think there's some really poor refereeing decisions that turned the game and ruined the game, but there again, that's not for me to say. I make some really poor coaching decisions too, and players make some really poor decisions on the park, but I think that ruined the game there, to be honest.
You're frustrated with O'Dane on debut, obviously on a yellow, making that second challenge?
No, not frustrated, no, I'm not. No, O'Dane's a good lad. He's a very smart footballer. Or he wouldn't be a sort of person that attracts my eye. No, I'm not. You've got to actually look at it not just in the last line of defence for him to make that decision, because he shouldn't have got there with that amount of pressure put on him in the first place. So there's other avenues on the park that actually had fallen below par to allow that position to be in for him to make that split decision. So no, I don't think it's O'Dane's fault, and I don't think it's a bad decision on O'Dane to do so. He acted on impulse. However, in saying that, it is what it is. We get over it, we jump back up, we move on, and we start ready to go again. It's just like a bit of beetroot falling out of a hamburger. You just got to pick the beetroot up, put it back in the bun, and off you go.
Was that that second yellow card, was that what you were referring to with the refereeing decisions?
I think there was a few in there that, I don't know, could be questionable, I suppose. And to cover my backside for the future, there's a few questionable decisions I make as a coach as well.
We'll let you go with the gentle gloves on that one. Just any positives you can take away from today?
Yeah, there's a lot of. I did like Nick O'Connell in goals. I thought he was outstanding with some of his technical attributes as a young goalkeeper. I thought he made some sensational saves. I thought that some of the performances with 10 men in the second half, I thought that we started to dominate a central corridor more, which we didn't do in the first half. Our first half, it's like that we'd spent a night down at Conningham camp over around the bonfire, and then we turned up for a game of football in the afternoon, because we just weren't on the mark. Even though in the change rooms it had been laid out on the table, we just didn't react to it crossing that white line. And the positives I got out of it was, yes, I enjoyed seeing O'Dane. Did that fall down?
It did.
Hey, I reckon that's
a good metaphor, perhaps.
I think so. Yeah, I think that might have been the force. I think there's a lot of good points out there. I did like O'Dane in the back line. I did like he's been able to construct and communicate and organise. I really do enjoy that. I enjoyed Louis Vidal up front. I thought that his body positioning was really, really good to be able to give young Timmy that ability to work on the seconds. I thought there was a couple of really good points out of that game. Take away the score line. That's just the way it is.
So
thanks, guys. Yeah, all right, go and say that last one.
So tough start for O'Dane, but you think he's got a really important role to play?
Oh, he made a huge role for us. A huge role. And it's just an obstacle that we'll overcome. Clear it out of his head. Get on with football, because he's quality. And you can't let little attributes like that get to you, especially as a footballer, or even as a coach, or even as an administrator. He's got a lot to give to our club, and the lads love him dearly, because he's a really good lad outside of the park as well. And to be honest, I think any club, any coach would love to have him in your side. Yeah, honestly.
How did you get him to the club?
Sorry?
How'd you manage to get him across from Clarence? Obviously just snuck in before the deadline. What was...
Yeah, no, he just arrived in a postage express packet, and yeah, we unwrapped it and there he was on the team sheet, so we were really stoked.
We'll end with that. Thank you, Brody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Jez, obviously, you seem in a good mood. You came down here, a tough fight early, but you've emerged pretty comfortable winners. Are you happy with the team's performance today?
The first half was good. It was good to come back from a loss against South and see how the boys perform. We also had a lot of players out. We had Liam, Shane Egan, Cannon and Supio. So we really had a makeshift backline completely. Turner, Breeze and Linger playing together there for the first time with Lindsay. So I was very impressed with that. Happy to see the young boys, apply what they train on the training day. It's always nice to see that come together. It's nice to see the first half, especially the the plan that we had, and the boys executed that really well. When you got that many new faces coming in or changes happening, you expect a bit of jittery start. When we had a bit of a cautious start to the game, but once we settled and the boys started to understand that they are quite comfortable in this level and they're not out of place, I think we had control of the game for most of the first half.
Where was the game won and lost?
Like most games, it's your matchups. It's one-on-one. Football is pretty much it. If you win your battle, you win the game. And today, once we started getting over them and we started winning our battles and actually enforcing our game onto them, we were reasonably comfortable. I thought we could have scored a fair few today. We missed some pretty easy shots. I think at first half we had 5, 6 shots that we should have hit the target, didn't hit the target, and took us around the 7th shot before we actually hit the goal. So fairly comfortable today.
What point do you start saying, we're one of the favourites for the title now?
Nah, we don't. As I said, it's so early in the season. We're not even halfway through the competition. There's no team in the competition that you can actually go and say you're going to win today. They're all competitive. They're all well set. I mean, Kingborough just picked up Demar. So you don't know one week to the other who you're going to end up playing. Everyone seems to be picking up players. We're the only one seems to be getting lesser and lesser players. Everyone else seems to be, increasing their numbers. So we don't have huge depth. We've got a small team. We've been playing with a small team. So as long as we've got 4 injured at the moment, we can't afford any more. We came with bare numbers today, which our championship struggled a bit because of that. So, it's a long season, and injuries has a big say in it. For us, we have to stay away from injuries because we're just a small team. So.
Another impressive display from Noah Mees up top. He's just going past defenders seemingly at will at the moment. Yes, we're happy with how he's coming on.
Yes, we are using him slightly differently than last year. We rotate him quite a bit with Tyler. So we expect a bit more from him most times. I know I'm being a bit harsh on that. He is a key player. We're training him to be a big player. He never used to play like a big man. He used to play like a wide man more than a big man. We're training him, forcing him to play as a big man, and he's getting better at it. Every game he's getting better at it. So yeah, can't complain with today's performance. So.
Last week, probably the first time you've had to bounce back, facing a bit of adversity for the first time this year. What was the message to the group midweek, coming off a loss for the first time in 2018?
Our message was exactly the same. I just said, do your job. Basically, last week we didn't do our job, and that was what could happen in this level, that when you don't play to your potential or don't do your job, your individual job, any team can punish you, and that's what happened last week. There was few of us, not to say we were complacent, that's the wrong word, but we were just not tight with our roles and didn't execute our roles really well. This half, in the first half today, we executed that really well, and that showed. Second half we were a bit loose. It's a bit hard when you're playing 10 men. Sometimes the tempo drops off, and they worked really hard. You've got to be complimentary to Kingborough. Their players, they ran the second half down to the ground. I mean, last 10 minutes they ran out of legs, but they ran and ran.
Good. Right. Cheers, Jess.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.